In this video, we will learn how can we use completing square for solving quadratic equations. First of all, we want to know what do you mean by completing square, and also we want to know how can we face the questions in the exam. Here you can find this question. He asked you to find the integers a and b such that x power of 2 minus 2x minus 4 is congruent to or equal to x plus a or power of 2 plus b. What does it mean here? It means here I have to change all these quadratic equations, this one x power of 2 minus 2x minus 4 into a new form. This form is x plus a power of 2 plus b. First, we want to know what do we mean by completing square. Completing square is something that can be done for quadratic equation to make it easier, and also we can use completing square to solve the quadratic equations. And also after that, we will use completing square to find something also for sketching quadratic equations. Okay, to solve the parabola, to set the line of symmetry of the parabola, to set the vertex of the parabola, or the turning point of the parabola. Let's see what do you mean by this. Let's have this form of completing square, and we will write something to start with the completing square. If we have here x plus, and we change here, a here it's a value, is added or subtracted to x. X, for example, x plus 1 power of 2, it will be equal, and we say that x plus 2 power of 2, it will be equal, x plus 3 power of 2, it will be equal. Now, if I ask you to expand these brackets, what do you mean by x plus 1 power of 2? X plus 1 power of 2, it means that we will multiply x plus 1, multiply itself x plus 1, okay, to get the answer, and expand these two brackets. But we have a formula, or I have a rule to expand these brackets directly. How comes? We will put x power of 2, it means the first square, plus first times second times 2, it will be 2x, plus the second square, it will be plus what? Plus 1. Also here, if you have x plus 2 power of 2, directly it will be what? It will be x power of 2 plus 4, x plus 4. Then the third one, it will be x power of 2 plus 6x plus 9. Okay, now can you see what is the relationship between the coefficient of x here and the number that was written here? Yes, what this one? First of all, here we have what? We have the coefficient of x here. If you observe that 2 here is double the constant a here is double 1, and 4 is double 2, and 6 is double 3. Okay, what else? We can also recognize that 1 here, look here, 1 here and 1 here. I don't recognize anything. 1 is the same. But what about the next one? 4 here is the, we can say double, maybe, or maybe square. Okay, but let's see what the third one. I have here 9 and I have here 3. What the relationship between 9 and the 3? 3 here is square root of 9, or in another way, 9 is square of 3. Let's see the next one, x plus 4, okay, power of 2, it will be equal to what? X power of 2 plus 8x plus 16. So the relationship between the constant here and the number here, it will be what? It will be squared. Now, I want now to use the completing square. Now I want to use the completing square for solving this quadratic equation. How can I use completing square to solve this one? Here I have to follow 3 steps. Only 3 steps to make this quadratic completing square for this quadratic equation. What is the first step? First step here, you have to make sure about what? You have to make sure that your quadratic equation is written in the form ax power of 2 plus bx plus c. This is the first step. You have to arrange them, or you have to make sure your equation is written like this. What is the second step? you have to plug in the values in this form. What is the form? The form here is x plus b over 2 all to the power of 2 minus b over 2 all to the power of 2. Okay? The third step, I have to simplify. I have to do what? Simplify. I want you to remember I want you to understand. Okay? I don't want you to keep this in your mind, but I want you to understand what you will do with any quadratic equation to find the completing square for this quadratic equation. Here b over 2, I don't want you to keep it in your mind, but keep only the operation. I write x, after that the coefficient b, I will divide it by 2. After that, I go to here square. The next step, I have to subtract the square of the b over 2. Let's see the third one, then simplify. Let's apply these three steps in our quadratic equation. Here I have x power of 2 minus 2x minus 4. What is the first step? The first step, I make sure about what? About x power of 2 minus 2x minus 4 is written as the normal equation that I want to do. What is the next step? I have to put what? This is a. I have here a equal b and c. A is 1, b negative 2, and c equal negative 4. Now, we want to drop these values in our formula. What is our formula? First, I will put here x. Then, what about the next one? I have here negative 2 divided by 2, it will be negative 1. Then close the bracket and put square here. Then subtract. Negative 1 here, power of 2. Negative 1 power of 2, it will be what? It will be 1. The last thing here, I have to drop down this value here, it's negative 4. This is the second step. What about the third one? I ask you to simplify. Just only simplify, combine like terms. What are the like terms here? I have here negative 1 and negative 4. So it will be x minus 1 power of 2 minus 5. And these are the three steps to find what? To find completing square for this quadratic equation. We will do some other problems to make sure about the steps. We have a question collected from past papers. Okay, this question is saying what? The expression x power of 2 minus 8x plus 21 can be written in the form of x minus a power of 2 plus b for all of the values of x. Find the value of a and the value of b. This is a question asking me to do what? Asking me here, when you see that this form, it means that we have to do completing square. We have to do what? Completing square. Let's revise our three steps that we have to follow. First step, I have to make sure about my quadratic equation. It's written in the form of a x power of 2 minus 8x plus c. Second step, I have to plug in the values in our form that we had before. Third step, we will simplify. Okay, let's see one by one. Step number 1, for the first step, we make sure that about our quadratic formula, quadratic equation. Here x power of 2 minus 8x plus 21. It's written in the form that I want to do to work with. Next, I have to fill in or to plug in the values. What are the values that I have? Here we have A, B, and C. Okay, A here is negative 1, A is 1, B is negative 8, and C is 21. Okay, let's see. I have to put here what? X. Then I'll take this negative 8. What is the half of negative 8? Negative 8, the half of negative 8 is negative 4. So I write here negative 4, then put what? Power of 2. Minus what? I have to make this negative 4 to the power of 2. Negative 4 to the power of 2 equals what? 16. Next step, I have here plus 21. Is it clear? After that, the third one or the third step, I have to do what? I have to simplify. Simplify this one. What do you mean by simplifying it here? It means that I have to combine like terms. What are the combined like? What are the like terms here? The like terms here we have negative 16 and 21. So it will be x minus 4 power of 2 minus 16 plus 21. It will be plus 5. And this is the solution for this one. But don't forget, you're asking me about what here? You're asking me about what is the value of A and what is the value of B. You have to write the answer, okay, as he wants. He wants me where to find the value of A and the value of B. If you compare between the quadratic that he written here, or the formula that he written here, and the formula that you reach with, what is the value of A? You can find that A is equal to negative. A is equal to what? Here it's a minus and minus here, so it will be equal 4. Then B. Here plus and here plus. So B here it will be the same, so it will be 5. Okay, and this is the solution of our problem. Next. Now we will have the first application about completing the square. Okay, what is the first application here? I have to sketch the quadratic formula x about 2 minus 8x plus 21. Here he said that the equation of a curve is y f of x where f of x equal x about 2 minus 8x plus 21. The difference to the part of sketch of the graph y equal f of x. Okay. He said that the minimum point of the curve is m. M here you can find it in some questions. You can say that M is the minimum point, M is the vertex of the parabola or the curve, M is the turning point. All of these definitions means one thing. Okay, he asked me here to write down the coordinates of M. How can I find the coordinates of M? Before we have here what? The completing square. We will revise quickly. The complete square form that we have, it's x minus, here it's divided by 2, it will be 4 power of 2, minus 16 plus 21. So here x power minus 4, x minus 4 power of 2 plus 5. Okay, now I want to set the values of x and y for m. M here is a coordinate x and y. It has x coordinate and y coordinates. So what is the x coordinate of m here? In easy way, when you want to say the x coordinate of the turning point, just only go to the bracket here and see what is the value of the constant here. What is the value of constant? It's a negative 4. So you have to put the same value but switch the sign. What does it mean? So x here it will be what? X should be equal to 4. Just only take the constant and switch the sign. What about y here? It means what? Y here you will take 1b5. So it becomes what? Here y it will be only 5 with the same sign. So the coordinates of the point M here, it will be what? It will be 4 and 5. You can have also another question here. He can ask you in the exam, what is the equation of the line of symmetry of this curve? Okay, how can I say the line of symmetry? I want you to recognize that. What is the line of symmetry here? The line of symmetry is the line which is divide this parabola into two congruent halves. So the line of symmetry here, it should be what? It should be x equal what? X equal 4. Okay. What is the? He can ask you also. What is the minimum value of this parabola? The minimum of this parabola is the value of y. So here we can say that the minimum value equal 4. Let's see next one. Next question. Write x power of 2 plus 6x minus 7 in the form of x plus a power of 2 plus b, where a and b are integers. Okay. Now, he asked me to write in a new form. I have this quadratic equation, and he asked me to write in this new form. Okay, we can remember that this new form is related to completing square. So I have to follow the 3 steps that we mentioned before. First step, I have to make sure about what? I have to make sure about our quadratic equation is written in the form that I want to work with. X power of 2 plus 6x minus 7. Next step, I have to plug in the values in the correct formula that we will have before. Open bracket, put x, then 6 divided by 2, it will be 3, power of 2, then subtract, then 3, power of 2, it will be 9, minus 7. Third step, we can simplify. So it will be x plus 3, power of 2, minus 9, minus 7, it will be minus 16. Let's see extra questions that we can face in the exam. First one, what is the equation of the line of symmetry of this curve? How can I set it? I told you before. It will be what? It will be, we will go here to this bracket and then take the constant and switch the sign. So here, line of symmetry, it will be x equal negative 3. Then, what is the vertex or the turning point? Turning point here, it will be what? It will be, as I told you before, we will go to the bracket and then take negative 3 as the x coordinate, and here it will be negative 16, it will be y coordinates. Number 3, what is the minimum value in this curve? The minimum value here, it will be what? It will be negative 16, minimum value equal negative 16. How can I decide if it's a minimum value or maximum value? You can decide if it's minimum value or maximum value when you check the coefficient of the x power of 2. If x power of 2 here is positive, it means that we will find the minimum value. But it's a negative, you will find the maximum value. In the graph, you can find the minimum value. It will be appear like this. Okay, for example, something like this, minimum value. And the maximum value, it should be like this. This is the maximum value. So this one is minimum. When the coefficient of x power of 2 is what is positive coefficient of x power of 2. And here, if you find the coefficient of x power of 2 less than negative or less than 0, okay, you will find maximum what? Maximum value. Coefficient of x here, it will be what? It will be maximum value. So here we can decide that if the coefficient of the highest power here is x power of 2, if the highest coefficient here is positive, the coefficient of x power of 2 is positive, so the parabola here, it will be happy. It means that you will find the minimum. And if the coefficient of the x power of 2 negative, it means that the our parabola here is sad. So you will find maximum value. Okay, let's see next question. X power of 2 plus 2x minus 8 in the form of x plus m power of 2 plus n, where m and n are integers. Okay, let's see how can I do this. As I told you before, we have here three steps we have to follow. First of all, first step, I make sure about what? X power of 2 plus 2x as usual minus 8. It's written at the formula that I want to work with. Next one, I have to fill the form of completing a square. So I have to put here x, then 2 divided by 2, it will be 1, then put the square, minus 1 power of 2, 2, it will be 1 minus 8. Number 3, after that simplify and combine like terms. So it will be x plus 1 power of 2 minus 1 minus 8 minus 1 minus 8, it will be minus 9. احنا دي ممكن نعمل لكم كومبليتنج سكوير. طيب تعال نخش على next question. Here in this question he asked me to solve x power of 2 minus 6x minus 8 equals 0. Write your answer in the form of a plus or minus square root of b, where a and b are integers. Now we have two ways to solve this problem to find the answer in the form that's required in the question. I can use the completing square to solve this problem, okay, and also we can use quadratic formula to solve this problem. Today we will use completing square to write or to solve this quadratic equation and put our answer in this form. Let's see how can we do it. First step, we have to make sure about what? We have to make sure about our quadratic formula is written in the form of x power of 2 minus 6x minus 8. Second step, we have to plug in the values in the form of that we give it before. It will be x minus 3, 6 divided by 2, it will be negative 6 here divided by 2, it will be negative 3, all power of 2 minus negative 3 power of 2, it will be 9 minus 8. The third step, we will simplify. Simplifying means combine like terms, so it will be x minus 3 power of 2 minus 9 minus 8, it will be minus 17. Now, I want to solve this problem, this quadratic equation, and put my answer in this form. How can I do it? Let's see. Here x minus 3 power of 2 minus 17 equal to 0. Transfer this negative 17 to the other side, so it will be what? It will be x minus 3 power of 2 equal positive 17. What the next step? Square root for both sides, so it will be here x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus or positive or negative square root of 17. What the next step? Transfer this negative 3 to the other side, so it will be x equal what? 3 plus or minus root 17. And there's the final answer. Next question. Sometimes we have the coefficient of x power of 2 here is more than 1. So what shall we do in this case? Let's see. As I told you before, I have 3 steps to follow. What are the 3 steps here? First one, we have to make sure about our quadratic formula is written in this form. 2x power of 2 plus 8x plus 2. Okay, next. Is this written in the form that I have? No. Why? Because the coefficient of x here is more than 1. So what shall we do in this case? In this case, we will do something here. We will have here common factor of all the terms of these quadratic equations. What are the common factor here? The common factor here is 2. So what shall we do? We will have 2 here as a common factor outside. Then open bracket. What is the rest here? It will be x power of 2 plus 2 times 4x, it will be 8x, or 8x divided by 2 equals 4x, plus 2 divided by 2 equals what? Equals 1. Now, we have here the quadratic equation that I have to work with, but it's multiplied by 2. Is it very different here? No, we will work with the same and follow the same steps. Let's see. Step number 2, or the second step. Here I put 2 with the same, then open the bracket, then open the small bracket here for this quadratic formula. Here, x power of 2, we will have here, it will be x, 4x here divided by 2, it becomes 2, 4 here divided by 2, it will be 2, then it's power of 2, minus 2 power of 2, it will be 4 plus 1. Then close the bracket. Third step, I want to simplify. Why to simplify here? We will simplify what inside the bracket first, then we will expand. So it becomes equal to 2 times x plus 2 power of 2 minus 4 plus 1, it will be here negative 3. Don't forget to expand 2. Here 2, it becomes what? 2 x plus 2 power of 2 minus 2 times 3, it will be what? It will be 6. So here, what is the value of A? What is the value of A here? A is equal to 2, B equal to, and C equal negative 6. And that's 4. Let's see another example. Question number 10. Write 2x power of 2 plus 12x minus 3 in the form of A, x plus b power of 2 plus c, where a, b and c are constant. As I told you before, when you have this form, it means that we have to complete square. So let's see and follow the steps that we had before. First step, I want you to make sure about what? About your quadratic formula is written in the form that you keep it in your mind. So I will be here 2x power of 2 plus 12x minus 3. Yes, it's okay. But here, the coefficient of x power of 2 here is more than 1. So what shall we do in this case? As I told you before, we can have 2 as a common factor, or the coefficient here of x power of 2 as a common factor for all the terms of what? Of the quadratic formula. Sometimes some people have only the common factor for only these 2 terms first. But some of them confused and forget something. So I prefer to have the common factor of all the terms of the quadratic formula. Let's see. I have here 2 open bracket, then x, 2, then open bracket, x power of 2, then 12x, divided by 2, it will be 6x, negative 3, divided by 2, it will be negative 3 over 2. Keep it like this as a fraction, no problems. Next, I have what? I have here the quadratic formula that I want and the formula that I want to work with. Let's see. 2, then open bracket, open the other one, the other bracket. Here x will put x, 6 divided by 2, it will be 3, all power of 2, then minus 3 power of 2, it will be 9 minus 3 over 2. Then expand. 2 x plus 3 power of 2 minus 2 times 9, it will be 18. 2 times negative 3 over 2, it will be minus 3. The third step, we will simplify. Here it becomes 2x plus 3 whole power of 2 minus 18 minus 3, it will be minus 21. Next question. In this question, he asked me to write 3x power of 2 minus 12x plus 2 in the form of a, x plus b power of 2 plus c, where a, b, c are constant. Here in this question also, we will recognize that we have the form of completing square. So that we have to follow the same 3 steps that we had before. What is the first step? You have to make sure about what? About the quadratic formula, or the quadratic equation is written in the form of that you want to work with. So here it will be 3x power of 2 minus 12x plus 2. Here I have the coefficient of x power of 2, it's more than 1. I have here 3. So what shall we do in this case? We have to have a common factor for all the terms. So what is the common factor here? We will have here 3, open bracket, 3x power of 2 divided by 3, it will be here x power of 2. Negative 12x divided by 3, it will be negative 4 of x. 2 divided by 3, it will be written as a fraction, and we keep it as a fraction, no problems. It will be 2 over 3. Now, we have the quadratic equation that I want in the form that I want to work with. Second step. We will plug in the values in the form that I want of completing square. Let's see. Don't forget to put 3 here, so it will be 3 and open bracket, then small bracket. I have here x over 2, so it will become x. Negative 4 divided by 2, it will be minus 2. Close the bracket, 4 to the power of 2, minus this negative 2, power of 2, it will be 4 plus 2 over 3. Next, expand. 3 times the bracket here, it will be 3, then x minus 2, power of 2. 3 times negative 4, it becomes negative 12. 3 times 2 over 3, it will be plus 2. Third step, simplify. 3 times x minus 2, all to the power of 2, minus 12 plus 2, it will be minus 10. That's all. Next question. Here he also asked me to write 4x power of 2 plus 12x minus 5 in the form of ax plus b power of 2 plus c, where a, b, c are constant. Let's see. I have to follow the steps that we had before. First one. I have to make sure about the quadratic equation here. It's written in the form of that I want to work with. So it will be 4x power of 2 plus 12x minus 5. Now here the coefficient of x power of 2 is 4. So we will have 4 as a common factor for all the terms of the equation. So we can write here it will be 4, 10 open bracket, 4x power of 2 divided by 4, it will be x power of 2 plus 12x divided by 4, it will be 3x minus 5 over 4. You can write it as 5 as a fraction like this. It will be 5 over 4. Next, we will work with this quadratic equation. Don't forget this 4. Then I open bracket x plus here 3. Okay, no problem. 3 out of what? It will be 3 over 2 all to the power of 2. Then minus. Minus what? Minus here 3 power of 2 over 2 power of 2. It will be 9 over 4. Minus 5 over 4. Then close the bracket. Next. 4. You can simplify or you can expand as you want, no problem. I have here this, we can simplify, then we can expand. After that, we can expand. So it will be x plus 3 over 2, all to the power of 2, negative 9 over 4, minus 5 over 4, it will be negative 14 over 4. Expand. So it will be 4, then here x plus 3 over 2, if you want to write it as a decimal, no problem, minus 14. Okay, any problems then now? This is the quadratic, what the completing square. Now, what if I ask you to sketch it? When you want to sketch any quadratic equation, you have to make sure about 3 things. The first one, you have to set the turning point. Second one, you have to set the y-intercept. Third step, you have to set what? You have to set the x-intercepts. Now we have another question. This application for how can I sketch the quadratic equation using completing square. The question asked me here, write x power of 2 plus 4x minus 6 in the form of x plus a power of 2 minus b. I told you before, when you see something like this, it means completing square. So I have to follow the 3 steps that we had before. First step, I have to make sure about what? Our equation is written in the form that I want to work with. So it will be x power of 2 plus 4x minus 6. Then, plug in the values in the form that we had before. So it will be x plus 4 divided by 2, it will be 2, all power of 2, minus 2 power of 2 equal to 4, minus 6. Third step, we will simplify. So it becomes what? X plus 2, all power of 2, minus 10. So here, this is the first requirement in our question. Here, you can write the answer here. It will be x plus 2 power of 2 minus 10. Now we want to sketch our parabola. How can we sketch it? When you want to sketch the parabola, we have to set 3 things. You have to make sure about them. What is the first one? The first one, you have to set the vertex of the parabola. Second one, I have to set what? I have to set y-intercept. Number 3, we have to set x-intercepts. Okay, so when you want to sketch any graph, you have to set all this. Vertex or turning point. Second, y-intercept. Third, x-intercept. Let's see how can we do this in easy way. Now, to remember only quadratic, it becomes here, let's see, x plus 2 power of 2 minus 10. Yes, x plus 2 power of 2 minus 10. Here, x plus 2 power of 2 minus 10. Yes. Now, I want to make sure about what? I want to make sure about the vertex. How can I set the vertex? Let's see. Vertex here, let's say that, the vertex. As I told you before, the vertex here, we will go to the bracket here and take the constant here, but switch the sign. So here it's 2, so the vertex it will be negative 2 and negative 10. Next, I would say the y-intercept. Y-intercept here, our equation here is y equal x power of 2 plus 4x minus 6. Y-intercept, it means, what does it mean here? At the first sight you can recognize it, it's a negative 6. But in another way, if I don't know this represent y-intercept, how can I do it? If I ask you in the exam, find y-intercept, you have to put x with value of 0. Okay, substitute x with 0. Exchange or change x to be 0. Okay, if I ask you to find x-intercept, put y equal 0. Let's see. I want now y-intercept. Y-intercept, it means x equal 0. So here, if you substitute y equal 0, the power of 2 plus 4 times 0 minus 6, it means that y-intercept it will be negative 6. This is the second. So first one here, I said the vertex. Second step, we said what? We said y-intercept. Let's see how can I recognize x-intercepts. X-intercepts here we can use the quadratic, you can use completing square, right? But we can say what? Here, x plus 2 all to the power of 2 minus 10 equals 0. X-intercept here, it means you have to put y equal 0. So here, x plus 2, okay, all power of 2, it will be equal 10. Then root for both sides, so it will be x plus 2, okay, equals plus or minus root 10. Then I have here x equal negative 2 plus or minus root what? Root 10. Okay, now I want to do what? I want to find x, I want to sketch now this formula. How can I sketch it? First of all, you can sketch what? You can set the vertex. What is the vertex here? It's negative 2 and negative 10. And y-intercept is negative 6. So here, negative 2, negative 10, it must be far from what? From negative 6. So we can put it here, for example, negative 2, negative 10, so it becomes here. Negative here, it means on my left hand side, so you can put it here. Negative 2, negative 10. This is what? This is the vertex. So it becomes here negative 2, negative 10. Then, what about the parabola? What about the y-intercept? Y-intercept here said that it's a negative 6. It means that my intersection point between the curve and y-axis, it should be here. Negative 6. So it will be 0, negative 6. After that, you can, here, the x-intercept, it will be what? Negative 2 plus root 10. Negative 2 plus root 10, it means what? It should be, for example, it will be like this. And here, this is what I want to make sure about this. Here is the line of symmetry. Okay? So you can make the other side of the parabola like this. Try to keep the same point. I have here what? The same distance from the line of symmetry. This is the x-intercept here, first intersection point. Look here, I want you to sketch it, not accurate, but logical. So here the distance here, for example, keep the same distance. It will be on the other side of the line of symmetry. Then put it like this. Now we sketch what? Now we sketch the parabola. Thank you for your time. Now we finish our lesson today. Thank you, Mr. Mohamed Soliman.